If you've been struggling with anxiety, you're not alone. Did you know that nearly 1 in 5 adults have had some type of anxiety at some point in their life? Well, I've got you covered. Today I've got 3 simple rituals that are going to really help you to start getting in control of anxiety. Anxiety has become a constant companion for many of us because of the fast-paced world we live in, constant availability of social media and work pressures. It just feels overwhelming sometimes, and a lot of the things that I hear from my clients at the moment are trouble sleeping, people having trouble sleeping. Either they have trouble going to sleep or during the night they're actually waking up, and it's normally at 3 a.m. and there are reasons for that which I'll cover in another video. If the 3 a.m. wake up resonates with you, then I've got you covered with these 3 simple techniques. Doing these techniques during the day will really help you to actually sleep through the night, because it's going to start to bring your levels of anxiety down during the day, reducing your arousal levels during the day, and that's going to help you sleep at night. So let's get going, let's start, and I will show you the rituals. So ritual number 1, when you wake up in the morning, a lot of my clients report actually waking up feeling anxious, and this can be absolutely debilitating. Before you've even started your day, you're feeling anxious already, and it really makes it difficult to feel positive about the day. So the first thing we're going to do when we wake up, even if you're not feeling anxious at that point, is we're going to do 5 minutes of this breathing technique that I'm about to show you. So just follow along with me with this breathing technique. So we're just going to place a hand on the chest and a hand on the belly, and we're going to breathe only using the nose. So this is really important. When we mouth breathe, we give our bodies the signal that we're actually aroused and anxious. So if you just look at the way I'm breathing and just think about how you breathe when you're feeling anxious and aroused. So if we're breathing like that all the time, we're giving the body the signal that we're actually anxious. So what we want to do is we want to close the mouth and use the nose. So throughout the day, just be merely mindful. If you're feeling aroused or anxious, just think, oh, have I got my mouth open? And you'll probably find you have, because a lot of us get into the habit of breathing through our mouths. So we're going to do this practice with our mouths closed, just through the nose. 1 hand on the chest, 1 hand on the belly. We're going to inhale for a count of 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhaling for a count of 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is all through the nose. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now I want you to notice when you next do your inhale, which hand is rising more? Is it the top hand or the bottom hand? And we want the bottom hand to be moving more than the top. They'll both move because we're breathing, pulling the breath down, but we don't want to be mainly breathing into here, because this is shallow breathing. We want to be breathing deeper. So we want this lower hand to be moving. So we're going to let's just try that. So inhaling again through the nose, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhaling, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just noticing which hand is moving. See if you can get this lower hand moving. So if you think about, even if you think about pulling the breath down to your feet, which is not physically possible, but just by moving that attention down to the lower part of our body, it should help us to start to get this hand moving. Quite often, we're often breathing in a dysfunctional way. So sometimes I see this where people are using their shoulders and all sorts of muscles, not their diaphragm, to be breathing. So this is helping us to use our diaphragm. So let's do this one more time. Inhaling, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhaling, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fantastic. So that's ritual number 1, and you're going to practice that for around about 5 minutes. If you do it during the day, when you know that you're actually moving into rest and digest, or parasympathetic state as it's called, you'll know that's happening when you feel like you want to yawn, or you might get your mouth salivating slightly. So this is signs that our body is switching to rest and digest state, sometimes rumbling in the belly. So just look out for that, and you'll know then when you feel that happening, oh yeah, it's working. Okay, so that's technique number 1. Ritual number 2. So ritual number 2, we're going to use some grounding. So in the afternoon, what I'd like you to do is take 5 or 10 minutes and just to do one of these grounding techniques. So the first one you could try, and just pick which one works for you. The first one you can try is you can do the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 technique. So that's using all of our 5 senses. We're going to start with one sense, so say if that was sight, we're going to look for 5 things we can see. So we just look around the room, notice 5 things. Then we go to 4, so we pick another sense, maybe 4 things we can hear. And we listen, 4 things we can hear. And then we go to another sense, so maybe 3 things, so 3 things perhaps that we can smell. And maybe 2 things we can touch, and 1 thing we can taste. So this is using all of our 5 senses throughout the day. The other grounding technique that I'd like you to try is to just take off your shoes and socks if you're somewhere where you can do that, and just to feel your feet on the floor. So that's 2 things to try for ritual number 2, grounding, 10 minutes in the afternoon. And then the final ritual, ritual number 3, just before you go to sleep, I'd like you to write down 3 things that you're grateful for that's happened during the day. And this really helps us to go to sleep on a positive note, with a positive mindset, rather than going to sleep with worry on our mind and worrying about what's happened during the day. And that will help us get a better night's sleep. And just to give you an example of how this has worked for clients of mine, one of my clients who was working with me for around about 8 weeks, when she came to me, she was getting really disrupted sleep. So she either couldn't go to sleep or she was waking up during the night. And after working with me for 8 weeks, she actually had a full 8 hours sleep for the first time ever. And this has become a regular occurrence. So you'll see that by doing these practices during the day, we're actually having lots of knock-on benefits, particularly for sleep, because we're showing our body during the day how our body can go into a relaxed state, and we're not expecting to go from like completely aroused and lie down and then say to our body, oh, I'd like to sleep now. So we're giving our body the chance to move into rested state during the day, and then the body gets used to that. So when we go to bed, it's much easier for us to go to sleep and get a good night's sleep. I'd love to hear from you. What's the one thing that you do every day to manage anxiety, and what's worked for you? Just share that in the comments below. Follow me for more tips and videos like this, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you so much for watching.